The foolish Tapas. In a certain village, there lived two men, Raman and Shankaran, who were neighbors. There were pretty jealousies and quarrels between them, and each vied to get the best of the other. Gradually, their mutual dislike reached a point where neither could tolerate the thought of the other being happy or prosperous. One day, Raman thought hard and long as to how he could outdo his rival. He decided that he had better do tapas and get boons from the Lord so that he could be one up on Shankaran. Like minds think alike. At that very moment, the same idea crossed the mind of Shankaran. He told his wife that he would go to the temple early next morning to sit in prayer until the Lord gave him darshan. Raman also decided upon the same thing. The next day, by the time Raman reached the temple, he could hear the voice of Shankaran from one side of the temple loudly chanting Om Namah Shivaya. Raman ground his teeth in rage. His rival too wanted to get boons from the Lord. He would see who would succeed. He noticed that Shankaran was sitting under a tree on the right side of the temple. So he sat under another tree on the left side of the temple. He did not want to take up the same mantra. So he chanted Shivaya Nama Om. Shankaran pricked up his ears when he heard Raman's voice. That fellow here too, all right. He would see who fared better. The two rivals sat day in and day out, not budging an inch from their places. Each was afraid that if he moved away, the other one might get the darshan of the Lord. 10 or 15 days passed in this manner. Their tapas became the talk of the whole village. The Lord in the temple did not move. Parvati could not bear to see the severe tapas of the devotees. Her soft heart melted. She asked her Lord, "Don't you see how they are doing severe austerities? How is it that you have not yet pitied them?" Shiva smiled and said that both of them were dishonest and they would not benefit even if boons were given to them. Parvati could not believe this. How can that be? Without true devotion, can one continue such severe penance? I think you have become stone hearted, not to be moved by their plight. Please grant them darshan and boons. Pestered by Parvati, Lord Shiva agreed, but he warned her that no good would come out of it. He went straight to Shankaran, who had started the tapas first. He stood in front of him and called out, "Shankaran, open your eyes. I am the Lord, come to grant you your boon." Shankaran opened his eyes and got up hurriedly to prostrate before the Lord. The Lord said, "Ask for a boon." Shankaran said, "O Lord, I am a mere mortal and I don't know much. Please clarify one point for me. Then I shall ask for my boon." The Lord nodded. Shankaran folded his hands and said, "Did you give darshan to Raman, Lord?" The Lord said, "Not yet." Then Shankaran thought for a moment and said, "Lord, since you are going to give a boon to him also, please let me ask only one thing. Please give me double of what you give him." Shiva smiled inwardly. He knew that they both wanted to destroy each other. He said Tatastu and moved to the other side, where Raman was sitting. He stood in front of Raman and said, "Raman, open your eyes. I am the Lord come to give you a boon." Raman opened his eyes and saw the Lord. He hurriedly got up, prostrated, and asked, "Oh Lord, I am very happy that you have come. Please tell me, did you go to him?" Lord Shiva knew whom he meant. He nodded. Raman eagerly asked, "What did he ask from you, Lord?" Lord Shiva said, "He wanted double of what you get from me. I said yes to him." Raman's eyes glittered with hatred. He would teach that rascal a lesson. Somehow or the other he must make him suffer. But what should he ask from the Lord? He thought deeply for some time. Then he folded his hands and said, "Lord, please make me blind in one eye." The Lord smiled. How foolish these men were! Tathastu, granting the boon, the Lord disappeared. Raman became blind in one eye and Shankaran became blind in both eyes. Their boons became the talk of the village for years to come. People often get golden opportunities in life, but sometimes they ruin themselves by wanting the wrong thing.